I only drink sparkling water when I'm here. I don't really drink it at home.
I drink the what are they called?
LaCroix?
LaCroix.
Oh, you drink the LaCroix?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
I don't really drink it at home.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
That's like with dinner, I'll have one of those.
I like Sprite Zero. Yeah. Caffeine-free pops.
Zevias.
What's that?
Zevia?
Oh, yeah. I remember
really-
those at the
We're big
store.
fans.
I never
Oh, really?
Never had one.
No? I like
They're
them a
pretty
lot.
good.
Mm.
They're pretty good. Yeah. Diet Pop guys.
Yep.
Mhm.
But those aren't Diet Pops. Those are seltzer waters.
Yep.
That just makes you feel better about the shit you're putting in your body.
Yeah, I feel like it's just water.
It's not.
It's definitely.
It's like
not.
these bougie fucking things. I'm like, when the hell would I ever drink Perrier water? Only at the office. Because on the snack runs, they go and get them.
Yep.
Like, who fucking instructed you to buy them?
I don't know.
What do you think? Why do you think they buy them? Did you tell them to buy them?
Those?
Yeah.
I think we told them to get bougie water.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, for when people come in, so
Yeah.
they feel special.
Exactly.
I mean, I like the Topo Chicos.
sometimes we have Fiji in there.
That shit goes so fast.
It does. They
Whenever
all drink it.
Oh,
Yeah.
whenever it's in there, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
like, this is for guests. So I feel like we're talking to our kids.
It's the best water ever.
And here I am drinking it. Stop drinking the good pop. It's for company. That's what I did growing up. Yeah. I remember that. I know Adeline's getting old enough. This is the thing that pisses me off about fucking social media and the fucking phones and the constant, all this bombardment. Kids don't party anymore.
No.
Because I was at dinner, I'm like, hey, I was like, what do you guys? I asked Adeline what they're doing after prom because she's going to prom on Friday with her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, they're probably going to have a small get together. I'm like, nice. I was like, party, huh? And she's like, not really. And I'm like, it's like, you playing this down, or do you think I'm a fucking retard? What do you think? I partied. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, there's going to be fresh beers probably, so you have to understand that this is part of growing up. And she's like, no, she's like, there more than likely won't be. And I'm like, I look at Hannah and I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
It's like, what's happening? And Hannah's like, Seth, are you allowing a party to happen at the house? And I'm like, well, I mean, whenever I leave and we leave, like, I'd really like to make sure our kids have fun. Like you're supposed to. That's part of growing up. You're supposed to break the fucking rules.
Mhm.
No. Social media. Could you imagine if there's a party of 15 or 20 kids, all of them have their phones out, one kid has a beer, two kids have a beer, big party, cops are there, fucking absolute shitstorm nightmare.
Anything on the phone is a fucking.
Think about it. Like, think about smoking weed back in the day in high school and like hiding smoking weed behind the fucking trees and go into the woods to burn one, come out and toast it. Dude, think of the kids that would just film that and think it's funny and put it on Snapchat and put it everywhere. And it goes fucking viral amongst that group of people.
Yep.
and throughout the school instantly. And now you got parents calling, you got everything going on and everybody's freaking out. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
You can't even hide it from your parents. Like now they're all have to share their locations and like, bro, they know exactly where they're fucking at
Yes.
all the time.
To the nth degree.
Well, my brother just turned 21.
Nice.
And I was like, Mom, what's he doing? Like, and she's like, well, we're going to go out to dinner and he wants to, he wants to get a beer or something
Man,
at
I
dinner.
imagine that.
I'm like, well, yeah. I was like, I would think. And she's like, he said he's never had a beer. I'm like, I was like, yeah. I was like, I would have said that too, us going out. She's like, no, like seriously, he's never, like they never really like partied or anything. I'm like, no fucking way. Dude, it was legit. Like he never had a beer. He had questions about like how you order a shot. And then like, he's like, I think I want to try like a fireball shot. He's like, what is it? And I'm like, oh my God. So I get it. It's not a thing.
I know. I was mind melted the other night and I'm like, now this is the question that I have for you guys. You're a little younger than us. You're not much younger. You're
I'm 30.
Yes, you're 8 years younger than me and you're 35.
I'll be 35 in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, all this has just been so fresh. So do you think it's a good thing? Is it a good thing that social media has stopped some of this mayhem? Or am I being naive in the fact that kids don't party and they still do, and it's still on the internet? Or like do know what I'm trying to get at here?
Yeah.
Like, do you think it's still occurring? Because people said it still occurs. Like, we've talked about this briefly.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. Because you don't see it. You don't see it anywhere.
Next question, real quick, before we continue this. How much did you party when you were in high school? Like 10th, 11th, and 12th grade?
I mean, every Friday and Saturday night for sure.
Like in 10th grade, you were drinking a beer?
Yeah, every Friday and Saturday night.
I didn't party that much.
You didn't party that
A
much?
few times, but no.
I mean,
Not really.
every weekend, dude. Like, I didn't play, like, varsity sports, but, like, those were all my bros. But there was something to do after every game. And then Saturday nights, it was, like, everyone's night off from fucking sports. So then we would get,
You were looking.
we were
Mhm.
looking for shit to do.
It was mainly after Friday night football games.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a party. Like, we do it in the parking lot and then, hey, go home.
Oh, dude, we would throw down
Yeah.
every weekend.
I remember every weekend kind of being somewhere we would go to do either like a field party or we'd be partying somewhere.
We
Like, and-
always
and
had
not even-
someone's house to go to. Like, we always had a big house to go to. Like, dude, there'd be 30, 40 people.
Oh,
there.
shit.
Dude, we went to bangers. Yeah. Every weekend. And when I was in 10th grade, I hung out with the seniors
Yeah.
because my neighbor took me to school every day. And then all my boys were playing sports. So, like, I was with them every fucking day. That class, which would have been 3 years younger than me, dude, we would just go to everyone's parents' house. Everyone. There'd be
Yeah.
10, 15 different
But there was no
parents'
phones
houses.
back then.
No.
And even if there was, but there was no social media.
No.
There wasn't any social
Mhm.
media.
But then, like, we also wouldn't fucking leave there. Like, we would all be there all night. We'd stay there.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what we did. We'd always go to somebody's house. Like, I lived in a neighborhood. So, like, if I had 5 or 6 friends over, like on a Saturday night, we'd steal my mom's beer and stuff like that.
Yep.
But then we'd be running around the neighborhood, like, and we'd be like, because there was only AIM, Instant Messenger. And we'd be like, hey, Casey, have your friends over this weekend and we'll all get together at night and, like, run the neighborhood and shit. But I'm like, I don't know if that occurs.
Yeah.
Like those small 10 to 12 people get together somewhere and having fun, hanging out. Like we'd each take 2 beers in our pockets that my parents definitely fucking knew about.
Yeah.
Just didn't say anything. But I'm looking at it as like I'm the same thing for mine. I'm like, be a kid, like have fun. Like I'm not encouraging becoming a fucking degenerate, but like it's part of life that I think that you should experience. Like, breaking some of the rules. Like think of how many country songs are about fucking like your first beer or a back road with your girlfriend or laying under the stars or things like that. I'm like, I hope this is still occurring and everybody isn't so glued to their goddamn fucking phones that they can't like enjoy what life actually is.
It's almost like 100% virtual life.
That's what I'm saying.
Like even relationships and friendships and like partying is like what, streaming together and hanging out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not condoning the use of drugs or alcohol for children, for teenagers by any means, anything. However, like at the same time, like I just find it crazy that they're not actually like interacting. Or am I stupid?
No, I mean, my biggest concern is like, if you're not making these mistakes as like a young kid, once you like are of age to drink alcohol or all these things or whatever it may be out of your parents' house, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, dude, you get in trouble as an adult. It's way different as getting a slap on the wrist as a kid. Don't fucking do it again.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm just so out of the loop. I'm just
Like, that's when I learned. That's when I learned. I learned before I was fucking 19 to not do dumb shit and just fucking party in the backyard, call for a ride, and don't be a fucking asshole.
And I can relate, but then I got a little tied up later on in life because of doing these things. However, like you're learning at a young age about it all, but also just experiencing it. Are we wrong in this, or do you have a take on
No,
it, Shane?
I mean,
you didn't do much of it, so
no. I just played a lot of sports, and
yeah,
that's kind of where I was at. I partied a lot in college.
yeah.
That's kind of where I started. Like, hey, I can do what I want. But
We're just, I don't know. Like
I was gonna say with Bob's brother, he's 21 now, or he's
Yeah,
just turning
just
21.
turned 21.
You got to
last month.
think the last 4 years you were in COVID. You
Yeah.
couldn't do anything when he was probably 17, 18, 19.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That just didn't exist.
Yeah. So he lost all that opportunity to go party at a friend's house because, oh, you're going to
Right.
die.
Maybe I'm just being lied to.
What if it's a fucking banger?
That's what I'm thinking in my head.
She's smarter than you think.
Or
But-
maybe she just doesn't know yet. Like,
But yeah, maybe doesn't know, but at the same time, like Hannah even said, she's like, Seth, she's like, listen to how you're thinking. Because after dinner, Hannah and I were talking. I'm like, I'm throwing a way bigger shit fit than I am right now.
yeah.
And she's like, Seth, think about it. She's like, say it's senior prom, like Adeline's senior prom, and she wants to have a party, pool's open, all this, and she wants to have a party. She's like, what happens if while you're asleep, you go to bed at 11 or 12, and all of a sudden, like, the booze breaks out. Somebody has a car full of beer or alcohol or something like that. I'm like, well, I would kind of fucking hope that somebody would do something like that. She's like, yeah, but then it goes all over social media at your pool. And everybody knows it's your pool because look at your fucking pool. And I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And she's like, yeah, before you know it, you have parents, you have cops, you have anything there, let alone somebody slip and whack their fucking head on your pool. And I'm like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah, the stupid shit.
All those little things that you think about. And I'm like, fuck, it's one of those things that just, I don't even know how to look at it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting to that. I'm in that phase of life where that's what I'm starting to think about because Adeline's 16 soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck me, this is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different.
I
Yeah.
don't think they're thinking about it like this, though. Like, I think they're thinking, like, it's just a different way to interact with people, and it's a different way of life.
You're 100% right. This is just how life is. You're 100%.
Like, to them, they're
right.
like, oh,
to
you're
them,
weird
this
for doing
is their
that.
childhood.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, you're fucked. It's so lame.
Meanwhile, they don't know what they're missing out
I have
on.
no clue. They got no clue. Meanwhile, I'm like, you guys should be fucking this, that, and this. Nope. Mm-mm. That's just a really good point. But it's. I'm living. I'm learning. I guess that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, I'll observe.
Yeah,
from this
distance.
angle.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Fuck.
Well, this has been a minute since a podcast here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back. Good to be back.
Likewise.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the HWMF Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Feroce, here with my heterosexual life mate, Bob.
Good day.
And, of course, Shaner is in the building as well.
Hello.
We've had quite the May or April and May. Been
April
a little
and
busy.
May. Yep.
A lot of really cool shit planned for Q3 and Q4 at the companies. We're very excited. Been hard at work, but the last time we had a podcast, we had Missy on.
Mm-hmm.
So she was interesting. And then after that, you ran your Ironman.
Yep.
And then went on vacation, and I completely forgot that you were going on vacation before we filmed the podcast. So there's a lot to talk about,
Yeah.
a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And you're actually running something this weekend.
I am an Olympic triathlon. So
What's an Olympic triathlon versus a real triathlon?
it's the distance. So 2 hours tops.
Oh, really?
Versus all day. Yeah.
So what's the distance?
So it'll be a 1,500 meter swim.
That's nothing.
Then like around 25 miles on the bike, and then a 10K. So 6.2 miles.
So like practice,
yes,
less than practice?
these hurt more.
Really?
These hurt more than the full distance because you're like it's short
Full throttle.
bro. You're fucking redlining heart rate for 2 hours. Yeah, it's gonna be intense, but it's only an hour away from here, so we don't gotta fucking travel and all that good stuff.
And take the van?
We're gonna take the van,
Nice.
post up, have everything there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah. So that
Cool.
should be fun.
But you had the Ironman, so we haven't really covered anything about it. And I didn't speak to you about it because
Yeah.
I wanted to do it on the podcast. And then I was like, oh, man, you're fucking leaving. And I didn't even ask how the Ironman went because I wanted a full effect in person on it all because you had very high expectations of yourself for the Ironman.
Mhm.
Still delivered, still PR'd.
Yeah, still.
But
a
then
good
we're-
day.
Not exactly happy with your performance,
No, not really.
which I had like Nick Tragili. He was asking me, he's like, hey, Bob's race, how was it? I'm like, he PR'd. And he's like, fuck yeah. I was like, he's not really happy about it. He's like, Why? That's dumb. Like he all of a sudden got super discouraged. So
Yeah. No, it was not the day I wanted. I went like 11:30 something. I was hoping for something under 10. So, I mean, that's a huge gap.
That's a big
in time.
gap,
You know,
dude.
it's not 15 minutes. But we had a nightmare of a travel week getting there. Kim and I had to put Luna down that week.
Yep.
Just super sick, wasn't coming back. So, but all this stress compounding, I got maybe 6-8 hours of sleep in 3 days once we were there. And still felt really good. Felt good on race morning. Kim and Emily were nervous as fuck. It was their first full distance. So I think just me having the confidence of being there before and like trying to take care of them didn't stress me out as much on race morning. But had a really fucking good swim, my best swim I've ever had. Came out of the water and my coach was like, you're in it. Like you're in like the top cut. I'm like, okay. I'm like, here we go. And got on the bike and mile 10, I felt smoked. I felt like I was riding all day long.
Really?
Yep. My lower back was tight as fuck. Like couldn't get down in aero position. We raced on a toll road in fucking Texas. The wind was fucking ridiculous. So, and then you're just baking in the sun. There was not a cloud in the sky. And I literally just hung on for dear life for fucking 5.5 hours on the bike. Yeah, dude. It was brutal. I felt defeated. I was like I ran into Emily out there when she caught me. Like, no offense, just like seeing her catch me, I'm like, wow, I'm in a really bad position.
Fuck.
I'm not getting through this. Yeah.
Fuck. Because when you train, like you train on a professional level. Like you're competing like in the virtual stuff with other pros, and like it's one of those things that you're just phenomenal with the training portion.
Yeah.
And then race time comes and it's fucking shit travel.
Yep.
Mayhem occurs, and then
yeah, it's so tough to make the excuses, but like literally, like even my coach said, she's like, I don't even know how you raced. She's like, you should have just not. She's like, the condition you were in. She's like, the fact that you finished. But yeah, dude, just so tired. I don't think I was absorbing any of the nutrition I was taking in. Like my body was off. Like just nothing was fucking working.
I'm fascinated right now in my personal time reading about stress and cortisol.
Yeah.
And I think that whenever people still do say stress is the killer of life, I think it is. So whenever you're high stressed, I think everybody's body responds similarly, but people handle things differently as well.
Right.
And that type of thing when you're about to literally push your body, because every Ironman someone dies pretty much.
Dude, yeah. There's some sort of significant
injury or death at Ironman. So it's like you're pushing yourself to that point, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stress can chew on people a little bit differently. But
yeah, it's tough. I mean, like you said, my training is impeccable. Like the level we can train at is insane. I should be in that top 1%.
Yeah.
Every race. And I came into the T2 getting off the bike, and they have changing tents at full distance Ironman because a lot of people change between each thing. And I get in there, I have my run stuff in my bag, and they have a bunch of like volunteers in there just making sure like everyone's cool.
Yeah.
Like, are you cognitively
like, yeah,
there?
you're there.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I got half of a banana in my fucking mouth that I can't chew, and I'm like just staring at my shit. And this guy's like, hey, you good? Like, do you need medical? I'm like, no. I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm debating if I'm going to go run or not. Like, I legit was there. Like, I had everything on. I was like ready. And I'm like, I need like one more minute, and then maybe we'll try this. And they watched me the whole time. They watched like every movement I made. I was like, I can't look fucking out of it right now, even though I was.
Yeah, you were for sure.
Out. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. I was like, it's 3 fucking loops. I can probably do 1 loop for sure. And if it's not there, I'll just fucking call a day. And got out, saw my coach. So like kind of came back to life. And then she's like, where are you at? I was like, no energy. I was like, 0 fucking energy. And she's like, you need fucking Coca-Cola and Red Bull every aid station till you feel like you have energy back. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like,
this isn't part of the programming, coach. When the fuck am I drinking Coca-Cola?
Just wanted sugar. She's like, we need to get your sugar up. And I'm like, okay. I was like, let's give it a shot. So a couple miles in, 3-4 miles in, like I start to feel good. I'm like, fucking right. I'm like, this is great. And like, I'm looking at my time. I'm like, if I actually run a good marathon here, like it could still be a really good day. Ran 3 miles at like a 6:40, 6:45 pace. And then stomach got fucked. I had a shit.
Yeah.
And usually that's a good thing. Happens at the beginning of the run. I'm good for the rest. So I went in, tried to do it as quick as I could. Can't get it out of my fucking tri kick because it just doesn't come off. And come out, start to run. I'm like, I'm like, stomach's empty. I was like, we're good. And then, I was pretty good through mile 12, 14, and then 18, stomach hit again. And I couldn't take in anything the rest of the race. Anything that touched my mouth, I was either going to throw up or shit my pants.
Man.
Yeah. So like to do another 12 miles or 14 miles, 12 miles, 12. With no nutrition, no calories, like, dude, you're just asking for trouble. So I died off. I started walking between aid stations and then Emily actually caught me again on the run. And she was in a bad spot too. Like we were both, couldn't run, dizzy, like ready to pass out. Like Emily was like slurring her words a little bit. And I was like, well, let's just kind of jog to each aid station and we'll just try to knock this out. We had another full lap, which was 8 miles to go. Yeah. And we just did that. We kept jogging in between each one, walking the aid stations, taking in water, and they had pretzels out at that point. So we're trying to eat.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And at that point, I felt okay, like mile 3, and I was like, I want to bring it in with her, and just make sure she finished, and we crossed together, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but it was insane, like seeing some of these top level pros out there, like especially on the bike, like it's like you driving in the far right lane on an interstate, and then out in this far left, like you're doing 45, and these guys are doing 95. That's how it feels when they rush by you.
No shit.
They're like a freight train.
Oh shit.
I am not even in the same realm. Not even close. It's insane the fucking level when it comes to those top professionals. It is nuts. And dude, they're not really taking in what I have to take in.
No,
They're like, some of them are pretty tall dudes. Like they're still all shapes and sizes.
Still big dudes. They're still
something else.
Well, I mean, that's relatable, I think, to any level of professional, and that's the push that most amateurs have to be a professional.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's always like there's so many different aspects of training in any fucking sport known to man. Like it's like seeing a kid or a teenager that's a freak at fucking baseball.
Right.
And then all of a sudden seeing the 28-year-old that's a fucking 7-year vet that's been in the shit that was you, only better than you at that point, and he's got this type of experience just shitting on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not that you're not good.
Right.
It's not that you don't have something special. It's just that them motherfuckers got the shit.
They do. Yeah.
And they've been doing it for longer. You know what I mean? And figured it out too. Because it takes them less effort to do what they do.
Right.
And they don't need to take in the same amount of calories to support that. Like that's a building process.
Right.
Yeah. So even in fucking bodybuilding, it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, the guy that's been doing it forever, he's like, yeah, I just do this, this, and this. And you're like, well, I do that too. You don't do it as efficiently, nor do you have the same muscle memory as I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, they can how do they bike even that fast in comparison?
Oh, dude, they're averaging 5 to 6 miles faster per hour than me. Like they're averaging 29. Like that's, like, dude, it's like driving a car. They're literally moving that with their legs, and it's not like the bike's running itself. Like there's no.
No, they are the engine.
They are the engine the entire time, start to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just find it fascinating that somebody has that, like that you have like that motor.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that motor.
No, especially with how they're built. Like some of the guys, like they're like either short and skinny or tall and skinny, and it's like how are you driving? How are your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads driving that kind of force when mine are like twice the size of yours?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's wild what these dudes can do.
But you PR'd.
Yeah, I PR'd. I had like a 37-minute PR.
Yeah.
So I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah.
Kim completed her fucking first full.
Yeah.
Nasty crash on the bike for her. Fucking warrior. Fucked herself up real good. Fucked her bike up real good.
I didn't know you were on a turnpike.
Oh,
or
dude,
toll road.
It was legit like being on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, like wide open. Fucking, they closed it, which was wild. They closed that entire section, so it was like a 60 some mile stretch that we were on. It was an out and back. On the way out, nasty headwind. Coming back, crazy tailwind. So like you were flying on the way back, but like you get back and you're like, I got to go out in that fucking shit again. And she went down at mile 15, so on that first lap.
Ugh.
Yep, got caught. Her tire got caught in the fucking seam of the highway. Twisted her shit.
She go over the handlebars?
Yep, went over, skid her whole right side from her ankle up to her shoulder. Chain got fucked, but there was this dude fixing a flat. He helped her with her bike, got her back up. But no one told me that she crashed all day. Like, I saw people all day long, and no one said shit about her.
Nope.
I was like, how's Ken? They're like, oh, she's good. She's here. And I'm like, okay. I was like, what the
Cool.
fuck? And then I saw she was like, dude, she had blood from her shoulder down to her ankle, like coming across the finish line. Like her whole side was ripped open. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I lost it at 22 miles an hour. And I'm like, that's why no one told me shit about you today. She's like, I told them not to say anything to you. I'm like, I was like, I would have quit. I was like, I would have been fucking done for the day.
Yeah, you'd have been like, I'm good.
Yeah. But no, it was super wild experience. I haven't done one since 2021 with a full distance.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. It's a different prep. It's I don't know, still the same wild experience as I remember, but
I think they're so stupid.
the full distance I think is fucking dumb. Like I got done, I'm like, dude, the amount of time I had to put into this, and then
I just it's one of those things that it's like, you know, people will say bodybuilding's stupid or this is stupid, especially when you see somebody get hurt or anything. And I'm like, anytime that I tell somebody about it, like it'll come up in passing with whenever I talk to Nick or Guy or anybody that I just talk to on a regular basis, they always have questions because they're athletes themselves.
yeah,
They were at a professional level and Nick still is. And whenever I bring these things up, they're like, it just doesn't make sense though. I'm like, no, it's pretty stupid. And they're like, and Walker will be like, dude, that's really dumb. And like, it can't even fucking process in bro's head. And it's because of the level of it. Like doing 45 minutes of cardio twice a day is a lot.
yeah, it's a ton.
Like to a regular person, the average fucking person, 30 minutes of cardio a day, dude, that's a lot of time. 5-6 days a week, 30 minutes a day.
Yep.
Dude, that's a lot of time out of their schedule. Technically, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But they view it as such. They're like, I just don't have time for it. And you're like, well, yeah, technically you definitely do.
You do.
But like if you do, I look at people, if you do cardio 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or you're putting in some time.
You're dedicated.
Whereas this is you're like, yeah, we swim. Oh, cool. You big swimmer. No, not really. I just swim 2.4 miles, like through an ocean or open body of water. Open body of water. Like you don't touch like the ground. You can't, your feet don't touch
Wow.
like whenever you're tired or something. No, and then we get on a bike and we ride 112 miles. And they're like, whoa. I don't even like driving 100 miles. At 60 miles an hour, that's 100 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's watching a movie. Like imagine doing cardio the whole time and you watched an hour and 40-minute movie. Like that's what you would do in a car at 100 miles.
Yep.
60 miles an hour. And then you run a fucking marathon. It's just the dumbest concept in the world.
Bro, it is.
However,
is.
it's called Ironman, and then that's why it's cool, because I'm an Ironman. And then you learn what an Ironman is. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is the fucking most insane thing in the world.
It is, dude. And like I said, I think in past ones, like the walks of life that are finishing these things, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like every shape and size, like, bro, these big fucking dudes, overweight dudes crossing the line. And, you know, it might have taken them 17 hours to do it, but it's like it's remarkable. It's so fucking crazy.
I mean, I'm pumped. Like right now, I'm in pretty good shape right now. Like I've been doing the workouts where I'm like, oh, I'm going to complete 2 miles today.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, completing 2 miles is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And I'm like, man, this is nuts. Just I don't know what the human body actually is capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Yeah, I do too. I was interested to see, because now we're switched back over to shorter course stuff for the rest of the year. I was anxious to see how long it was going to take me to get back into it, because like I trained aerobically for a full distance. Like you're not really pushing your heart rate as high as you should, and you lose a lot of strength. Like I lost a ton of strength for that prep. And I've been back like 2.5, 3 weeks now, and it's already starting to fire again. Like my bike strength has doubled in the last 2 weeks, and like the muscle memory, even from a performance standpoint, it's still fucking there.
So do you think that? So you like the half Ironmans?
I do. I think it's just. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be 160 to 170 pound competitor, like in what I do. I'll always need as much fuel as I need to do everything, and I just don't think the full distance is like.
No, it's probably.
I just don't know if it's for me.
Yeah,
you know,
that's something. The only way to find those things out is to do them.
Yeah, I wanted to try another one since it's been a full year, and I got so much fitter. But yeah, we got Ironman's coming to Penn State, so I'm gonna do that in July, and then that'll be cool. That Olympic this weekend.
Too bad I'm a Pitt fan now.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Penn State fan.
No, I don't fucking
Shane's
care.
a big Penn State fan.
I hate Penn State. I fucking hate it.
We had the Pitt strength and conditioning team in, and they were a fucking riot. How the stories with that were fucking crazy.
Yeah,
about the NIL and how it all works, and like just their training philosophies. They were really cool dudes. But yeah, the whole team came in. The head strength and conditioning coach. It was, again, just another level of performance in what they do, because we have Informed Sport approved supplements. So that was a thing that they fucking loved, like hydraulic and the grind. They were like, and we're like, well, our manufacturer's also Informed Sport approved, and they won't let any fucking gray area products, ingredients even touch their fucking facility. Won't even let it a fucking occur. Like they won't even make certain things that are above certain thresholds. Like they won't fuck with pre-workouts that go over 400 milligrams of stimulants. They won't even fucking do it.
Right.
Like, so when we were talking to them, they were like, I'm like, do you have to want, like, these are children. Like, let's get this straight. They're 18, 19-year-old men, but they're fucking kids. Like 18, 19, 20 years old. I was like, you guys have to walk around the locker room? Like, make sure they don't do anything dumb. He's like, every day. I was like, really? And he's like, oh, dude, he's like, energy drinks? He's like, they can't have a certain level of caffeine in their bloodstream if they go to piss test. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, it'll he's like, it's over the threshold. It's a performance enhancer. I'm like, well, caffeine is a performance enhancer, but it's caffeine.
Right.
It's caffeine.
Yeah, legal.
Yeah. No, he said fucking, I was like, this is the one that just popped in my head immediately was like the C4 Skittles. I was like, you probably get them a lot, the C4 Skittles. He's like, actually, we pull that off of them a lot. And I'm like, no shit. And he's like, yeah, dude, you can't have, you just can't. 300 milligrams of caffeine. He's like, in a drink, no fucking go.
Yeah.
He's like, all day long.
Man, they got to be careful with everything then.
He said everything. And that's why they love hydraulics so much, the grind. And then we were talking to him, like Heather was there talking to their nutritionist about stuff as well. Like demo day, carb powders, protein, like just everything. They were going through it all because, they get big sponsorships from big companies that are actually absolute fucking dog shit.
Right.
That don't actually care about their ingredients or their products or their formulas or anything like that. They're just, how can we make as much money as we can and just stay as cheap as possible?
Right.
But yeah, it was nuts. Like the whole NIL and the money thing. Did that not?
That was crazy.
Like how much these kids are worth.
Athletes are choosing schools and transferring based on money.
But here's the thing. They can get sponsorships, okay?
Uh-huh.
They are allowed to get sponsorships now. However, an athlete's worth is now valued by the college as well. Not just like, say, Axe and Sledge wanted to sponsor the fucking head football, the quarterback. Okay. We wanted to sponsor him and give him X amount of dollars. That's allowed. Okay. However, this NIL is also like, if this kid who's like, say, number 1 ranked running back in the country, he's not choosing the school based on his potential opportunity for later in life. That's normally what they would do. That's why you go to Alabama or Georgia or fucking Clemson and all these different things. They're also choosing it based on what that school is going to fucking give them.
Yep.
By school, I mean donors.
Right.
Not scholarship money.
Not scholarship money. Donors. Like apparently one of the questions that gets asked is that they have to ask these kids, what's your projected NIL worth? Like, it'll be like $1 million. So this kid's going to get $1 million just because of who he is and his worth to be at that school to be at Ohio State instead of Pitt, or to be at Georgia instead of Alabama or Clemson or anything like it.
So they're negotiating with schools.
Yeah.
At 17 to 18 years old. Dude.
Yeah, like they could be, say they play baseball and they're a pitcher, and you have to play a certain amount of years. I think it might be 2 or 3. But okay, if you're a sophomore in college and you know next year you're going to get drafted, like you're a first round pick, hypothetically, and your choice is between Pitt and let's do an equal, like Louisville, like they play each other, and you're a Pitt fan, like you would go to Pitt and the coach asks you like, hey, what's your NIL worth? And they tell you, and then he's like, okay, well, I want you to play for a team here. You're part of a team. This is how much we're going to give you. And then Louisville comes back and says, hey, we're going to give you this. Okay, I'm going to go to Louisville. Full ride each place. You're getting a full ride. Doesn't matter. It's the money that they get now, even though, like, hey, I could be part of a team. I can have friendships and everything. No, I'm just going to leave, and I'm
still absorbing this because I don't fully understand this whole NIL thing. But from a rudimentary, simple standpoint, that is what I got from the conversation on top of everything else. Like, what's his name? Arch Manning. He's going to Texas. What was his? It was some ridiculous, like 3.9 or some $1 million worth. It was nuts. It was ridiculous. This is an 18-year-old kid. LeBron James' son, 5.9 NIL worth.
Oh my God.
USC has that money.
Nuts, dude. It is, and I'm like, now listen, I've always said on here, I've always been all for these kids making fucking money. I've always been all for it. But the amount of money is pretty fucking ludicrous. And with all the questions I was asking, it seems a little unsanctioned. It seems like it's a little bit of a fucking like shitstorm.
A Wild West, like
yeah. And I was also thinking that they might want it to be that way. Like the NCAA might actually be welcoming the Wild West and not putting so much restriction and having it a little iffy because it's a bomb waiting. It's a bomb just waiting to go off. And they're like waiting for it to implode so they can reel it all back in and be like, no, we take all the money again. But I'm like, I don't know how this is all working. It just blew my mind when I started hearing about 18-year-old kids negotiating their worth. And then also going to a school, collecting the fucking money, and then transferring 2 years later.
So NIL, for people that aren't listening, is name, image, and likeness. That's what NIL is. So a college now, if you're paying Bronny an X amount of money to come there, you're valuing his likeness, whatever it is. I'm just going to make up, say it's $4 million. USC is going to take that $4 million NIL that Bronny has. He's going to do ads for different companies, and they're all going to relate it back to USC because that's where he plays, which then they count as marketing dollars.
That needed to be explained. Thank you. Yeah. Dude, it's a crazy. And then there are people, and again, it goes back to that just social media world. It's just a completely different world. And that's what, like, there's Young people making a lot of fucking money.
That's crazy.
It is wild. Yeah. So I had a bunch of questions, and they were saying it like they're the strength guys, but they were like, "Oh yeah, dude, it's wild because there'll be a kid that walks in that his NIL worth is $1 million, and you're looking at him being like, you're 19 years old,
Right?
You're 19 years old. This is fucking ludicrous. It's crazy. Very."
Dude, and the personality on like some of these kids. Like they walk in, you're like, hey, you're worth $1 million. Okay, you have $500,000 or 500,000 followers on Instagram, but you won't look me in the face and have a fucking conversation.
Right.
But then you throw a football a fucking half mile.
Yeah. I'm just, like I said, I've always been all for athletes getting paid more money as long as their value is there. And I'm always for, especially these kids in college, because the colleges make money hand over motherfucking fist.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, but I also am like, man, I really hope that there's somebody monitoring, like, and watching over and helping these kids understand about money, because like you can set yourself up for life with this.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can set yourself up for absolute utter disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like it doesn't matter who you are. The second that somebody gets money, they do off the wall things with it.
It's changing you in one way or another.
Absolutely.
It's making you better, or it's making you worse. You know,
Yeah.
Making either really good decisions with it or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no in between.
Hopefully the athletes have I know they get agents really early now, and that could present more opportunities for newer agents to get in and sponsor 18-year-old kids or represent them. But hopefully they're looking into accountants that can help them control their money.
There's definitely no financial advice, because the NFL doesn't fucking give them financial advice. The NBA don't give them financial advice.
Especially if the kid's going to college. Say they're 17. They're not 18 yet, so their parents are still taking some of the money or whatever they're doing.
There's one gymnast. Fuck, I can't remember her name. But Hannah was telling me, because we were watching Nationals, and she's there, and she's like, "Oh, there's such and such." I don't know if it was Jordan Childs or. Anyway, one of them is an elite gymnast that went to the Olympics, and their mom took all the sponsorship money, so the daughter had to go after the mom or some shit. But yeah, it was wild. I don't know if it was her or not. But either way, like the girl parents completely took advantage of her money.
Yeah.
And everything that worked for her. I'm like, this is a thing, because think about it. As a parent, if you invested your life into your kid, your life into your child, everything, fucking up and moved, went to different cities, did everything, and then your kid actually makes it and starts making fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsorship money or millions, and the parents like, you're not 18 yet, so technically this is my money.
Right.
And decides to use it all and take it all because I'm the one that did all this for you in life to get to this position.
Pay for all your shit.
And you're like, wait a minute, so think of that feeling. That'd be a wild feeling to be taken advantage of like that.
And that's the same with like these TikTok people. Like these young kids or TikTok people have millions of views. Their parents are doing the same thing. YouTube kids that review toys, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? You guys don't have kids, but I don't know if I could imagine using my child like that on YouTube and just making them, because dude, SJ watches them.
Mm-hmm.
He gets there's hundreds of millions of views on these things, so it's not like a little bit of money.
No,
like you wonder, like, these parents aren't really doing what they do out of the goodness of their heart.
No, it's their business.
But I don't know, it's wild. I'm like, man, it's like the kids. Like, is the kid? I would think the kid was gonna eventually make some of that money, right?
Wow, I would hope so.
Think.
Or the parents are like, "You're fucking paying rent this month.
No,
You're working for this
like
shit."
Later on in life,
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. Whenever that kid like grows up and figures out that he was a massive YouTube star, like, I don't know, like, what do you think?
Right.
I don't know.
What does that do to their ego when they turn like 15, 16? All their friends are like, "Hey, you're on YouTube."
Dude, the videos SJ watches, like they're because we vet everything. So like there's videos of dudes just playing in the dirt with their kids. And I'm like, cool, this is great. Like they just have a bunch of different Matchbox cars and they play in there. And then I look at the views and it's like 57 million views, 110 million views. And I'm like, so wait a minute. In a 2-month period, that video has 15 million views in a 2-month period. And it's just this dude with his son. You don't see their faces. You just see their hands playing in the dirt together, and it's super wholesome. And I'm like, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. But then there's the ones that are the unboxings. The unboxings
Those are big.
they're really big. They're really big.
I get excited for that stuff.
But again, it's something that kid, I don't even know if he knows who he is. I don't know if he knows that, like, how big of a deal that he is. Like, isn't there? I think there's one of them that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think there's one kid that unboxes stuff that's a massive deal.
His name's Ryan, I think.
Yeah, no, the parents, I mean, they're setting them up for success, thinking it through. I get it, but it's just a different thing.
Ryan's World.
Yeah.
Free plug. 34 million subscribers.
Oh my God.
That's what I mean. How old is the kid?
I don't.
That
It doesn't
page
say.
has more authority than like half the fucking celebrities on YouTube.
Oh, for sure.
These are so clickbaity titles too,
Well,
and
I mean,
thumbnails and shit.
there's a whole team behind
Yeah,
that
there's
child.
a whole company. Yep.
I mean, good for them, I guess. I can't talk shit. I know I was just a little thrown off by it all.
I'm not talking shit either. I just think they owe us some money for shouting them out right there. Maybe hit them up.
I'll send them a letter.
Yeah.
34 million subscribers.
I stumbled on this page. I can't find the guy anymore. I watched 3 of his videos. It's not in my history. I don't know what happened to it, but he buys like old, like our generation, like toys and video games that are brand new, like unopened.
Man.
He buys them and then opens them on video. Like,
There's a love-hate in those
Why would
comments.
you do that?
he opened up a brand new unboxed Nintendo 64, the original Mario for Nintendo 64, a brand new controller. He opened each of them on camera and then like started to play it. And then I watched another one
with the three prongs.
Yeah, yep, the
They're-
fucking
the
3.
red, yellow, green, or whatever.
Yep. And oh yeah, for the fucking TV. And then there was something else. It was like another. He was doing like Power Ranger toys and all this stuff, and then he was talking about them. So like all the original Power Rangers, like the Green Ranger's like sword, bro. This thing was going for like 3 Gs.
Oh my
on
god!
fucking eBay. So he just bought it. Like obviously the channel funds all of his fucking
There's got to
purchasing.
have massive.
But I'm like, dude, like I literally had all this stuff as a fucking kid.
Yeah, we all did.
We all had it, and it's all fucking somewhere else. Like, my parents didn't keep shit.
Dude, it's like those $1 million in Pokemon cards.
Yep.
Like, I had some of those.
I had all of them. I had all of them. And I have no idea where they're at.
I'm so pissed off right
I
now.
know. But that dude's views on his fucking videos, 25, 30 mil.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
dude. No, I just we're living in a much different time than anything.
You can literally put whatever you're into, like into motion as its own business on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're into.
It's crazy. It's just it melts my mind because it's a mind melter for me because
Yeah.
I'm so old school to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm even old school for my generation and my thought process, and like just seeing how it all occurs and what's going on. I'm like, man, this is pretty fucking crazy, pretty crazy. Because I think like think about all these kids that we're talking about and all this stuff. Okay, we didn't mention one time about anybody being a fucking skilled tradesman.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, what am I having a very hard time finding at my house? Skilled tradesmen.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find a motherfucker to build me a pavilion for the life of me. If you know how to do timber frame pavilion, would love to build a timber frame pavilion at my house with me, please let me know. It is unfucking believable because there's electricians, good plumbers, good welders, metal workers. Bro, all them people are dying. I don't think, I mean, we're 5 to 10 years, we've been talking about this for years, but I'm like, not one time did we mention it. Dude, it's going to be a thing of the past and become so fucking ludicrously expensive. It's going to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, right now you're either settling for really not overpaying, but yeah, overpaying for what was way different, or you're 6 months out, 9 months out from a fucking project getting done.
You're 6 to 9 months
yeah.
for sure. With a good contractor.
Yep.
Yeah.
It used to be like, hey, we can beat the other guy's price. Now it's like, hey, there's no one around. I'm going to jack the price up.
I had a contractor come out and tell me my pavilion was going to be very expensive. Okay. I'm like, bud, I understand. I am fully fucking aware at the material that I'm asking for. I get it. But I'd like you to give me a quote and tell me so that we can get started because I'd like this project. That was pretty much me being nice and saying, you can bash me over the fucking head. Just build me a pavilion.
Right.
3.5 weeks later, I call him up. I'm like, hey, like I didn't see anything come through. I didn't hear from you in the past few weeks. I figured I'd give you a ring, see where you're at, how everything's going. He's like, dude, be honest. This whole project's still sitting in my truck with me right now, riding around. I haven't even opened it up yet. I was like, are you fucking with me right now? He's like, nah, dude, I haven't even looked at it. I'm like, okay, like, are you going to? And he's like, I wasn't planning on looking at it this week either. He's like, I just been so busy with everything going on. I'm like, okay, all right. So I guess I'll go fuck myself then. He's like, I'll get to you. I'll let you know whenever I get your quote over. I'm like, all right then. So you haven't had a fucking plan to look at this thing anymore. And it's literally 6 fucking posts, a roof, and some really nice like woodwork underneath, like on the ceiling, and put 2 fucking fans in. I'll even do the lighting myself. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He didn't want that project. I'm like, holy fuck, this is wild to me.
Yeah,
pretty crazy. So I don't know.
Shit's just weird.
Times are changing, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
I feel like a grandpa.
I've been watching a lot of
changed
YouTube
now,
videos
like-
trying to do my shit myself.
yeah.
That's what you got to do now.
I mean, I ripped apart my pool heater yesterday because the pool people didn't know what the fuck they were doing, so I had to rip my own pool heater apart to tell them what the fuck to do. And I'm like, it's pretty nuts. Okay.
Yeah. Shouldn't have
Okay.
to do that.
Fucking propane guy didn't know what he was doing. He put the monitor on the wrong fucking propane tank. The propane guy this morning, the delivery guy, said that the guy yesterday installed it improperly. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
You had a clean slate. You didn't have to like replace anything, rip anything apart.
That's what I mean.
It's a clean slate.
Brand new.
That's why I'm fucking mind melted right now. I'm like, this is insane. It's blowing my fucking mind. But we'll see how it all shakes out. Other than that, life is good. I can't complain about anything. Everything's good. Just
Busy.
moving along. Super busy. Dogs. You're getting a new dog.
Yeah.
Luna had. It was time for her to get put down,
Yep.
which was rough. Still
Super
is
tough.
rough.
Yep.
But you guys were discussing about perhaps getting a new dog.
Yeah, we're looking at Australian Shepherds.
I thought you were out of your batshit fucking
super,
crazy.
Super low key, low maintenance.
Super calm dogs.
Be fine.
Yeah, be good.
It's gonna be fine.
The first
Was
thing you
it-
said when Bob was like, "Hey, we're looking at new dogs," and you go, "You guys are fucking psychos."
Bro,
I think, right? Was that word for word?
something
Yeah.
like that. I was like,
And
you
then- and then
fucking
I
kidding
said
me?
Australian Shepherd. He's like, oh my god.
Oh my God. It's an Australian Shepherd. Like the good thing is that you guys are very active.
Yeah.
You're super active. You go to active places. You have you have what, 11 acres?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You guys have all the things that Australian Shepherds absolutely love and need.
Yep.
So
and we went from literally like not disobedient, but so
Stubborn.
such a stubborn breed. Alaskan Malamutes is by far the most stubborn breed you will ever fucking own in your life. I love that fucking dog to death. I would never get another Alaskan Malamute ever again. It does what it wants, when it wants, and it will do shit on purpose and look at you like yeah.
almost like an SJ.
After seeing him the last few days, because he is fucking crazy right now. Yeah. But no, we were talking to this breeder. I was like, I want a dog that will actually be obedient. Like, I know it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of training and all of that stuff, but I was like, the dog didn't even want to fucking lay with us. Like, it wasn't a sleep in bed kind of dog, wouldn't sit with you on the fucking couch, would live on the other side of the home. And she's like, yeah, that sounds like Malamutes. Like, they just live their own life. And I'm like, I don't want that. She's like, well, you're literally getting the exact fucking opposite.
I was waiting for you to say it because
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I'm like, you went from this end of the spectrum
Yeah.
all the way over to this end of the
Yeah.
spectrum because this dog is like, hello, good morning, good morning, good morning, Dad, 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 ball. Shut the fuck up, kid. I'm getting there. That's what you're getting.
I know.
Yeah, but they're super cute dogs. They're
Yeah.
adorable.
And
You have, like I said, you have all the things that they need other than more animals to be around to work with and tell them what to do.
Yeah, and I told Kim, I was like, we need to treat this dog and our life and our relationship way differently. I was like, this has to be a dog that knows all of our friends, knows all of like young Heather and her dog, Mike and their dog, knows what it means to go being like boarding, when we go away. Because I don't know, anyone knows, like we literally couldn't leave this dog, like Luna with anyone.
No.
Like we would drive back to Philly to drop the dog off to fly out to go fucking anywhere we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we will not be doing that ever again. I was like, this dog is going to learn from fucking day one. It gets dropped off. People watch it. It likes other dogs. It likes other people. I was like, we have to do that. I was like, otherwise it's taking over our life again.
Yeah, and I mean that's with a dog like that, it's as close to a kid as you can almost get.
Yeah.
Because you have to with children, like if you never introduce your child to sleeping over someone else's house at a young age, they won't. It'll be a level of fear and anxiety that kid will just always have a hard time with.
Right.
So you have to introduce them to these things, and as a parent, you have to be like, yeah, you're fucking fine. You're not going to die. It's one of our best friends and their family. It's just a different environment, and you have to welcome them. It's one of those things you just have to get them used to, and like, yes, this is how they eat. This is how they sleep. This is the different routine. And as a parent, it's just, for a kid, it's tough because they're going to cry. But for a dog, if you don't, like, you never know with like a high energy dog like that.
Yeah, the breeder actually encouraged it. She's like, I encourage you leaving the dog with other people, with a kennel, with whatever it is. She's like, people think socializing dogs is just like being with other dogs. She's like, no, it's environments. It's all these other outside. They need as much as they can get. So
yeah, because they're going to see everything.
Yeah.
Like if a dog never sees a fucking kid and then it sees a kid the first time, they're not like, oh, that's a child. They're like, that looks like a small dad. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it's supposed to do. It's like, oh, I've been around these people this whole time, so that you got to introduce them.
Right.
They're still animals.
Yep. Yeah. So that should be exciting.
Yeah.
Fill that void again at home too. It's a quiet house now.
Yeah.
Dog, so
yeah.
I know Kim's having a hard time with it. So I don't know. I think it's time. We're dog people.
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be crazy. I know it. Hopefully, I can catch a fucking frisbee. That's all I want to. That's all.
Airbud.
Do.
Or a fucking apple.
Yeah.
We
cannon. The apple cannon.
Get out there. No, it's. I mean, I've always wanted a dog. Always wanted a dog. We just don't have the time. Hannah's always with gymnastics. 3 kids. We are literally home 20% of our day.
Yeah.
And that includes sleep.
Right.
So it's like, that's not enough for an animal.
Mm-hmm.
But like SJ, I mean, he just fucking loves animals. He loves them. I'd love to have a dog with him, but not quite yet.
He's funny with Heather's dog.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny as shit.
Thing rolls over and he's like, what's that? That's his penis. Oh,
Okay.
all right. That's a dick. That's a dick. Just got to clean up my mouth around SJ. He has a bad mouth. He doesn't even know he has a bad mouth.
No, he doesn't.
He just thinks it's words because
Yeah.
he's a kid.
Yeah. He's
So
learning.
yesterday they're playing fucking PGA.
Yeah.
It's like probably 5:30,
Mhm.
6 o'clock. So they're playing PGA on there, and they're like, "Oh, damn it!" Because a bad shot or something. He's like, "Damn it!" And then we're like, "Oh, great shot!" He's like, "Great shot." He's just repeating. He's repeating fucking anything that is said. Anything that's said, he repeats.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He is the only repeater child that I've had. Out of the 3, he's the only one that repeats words, like right whenever they're said. Like if you say caterpillar, he'll be like caterpillar. Like he'll try and sound it out and go through it. You say anything around him. It's picked up and he starts repeating it.
Mhm.
So whenever they were emphasized yesterday, fuck. No, and Mike goes, oh, so it's bad. I'm like, bud, anything that you say, he is fucking repeating.
Like, we hit a couple good shots and we're like, oh yeah, and SJ goes, shit, and we're like, no, that was good, and he goes, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
dude, just it's a bit much. I'm a little concerned about preschool. I know I'm getting phone calls with him. He is. That's what Hannah laughs about, because he is just such a he is a fucking spitting image of me.
Mhm.
He's polite.
He is very polite.
Very polite. Always
Yep.
please and thank yous and
He
says
opened
goodbye.
Open the door on the way out.
Great social skills, all these things, but then just horrible mouth. Horrible mouth.
Classic.
Oh, it's so rough. I feel bad about it, but then like yesterday, even we were in there and Mike's like, dude, he's like, how is this not funny? He's like, there's context to everything he says.
Yep.
Like, I know, dude. Oh yeah.
Oh, there's just gonna be that one day where it comes out at the wrong time. You're gonna be like,
Oh, it's he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
yeah.
And that's what's so rough about it. He doesn't know. Like, he'll go anywhere and just be like, hey, fuckers. SJ, you can't say that. And how do you not think it's funny? Because Emmy and her friends will be over and he'll run up and say that to them.
Yeah.
And they're looking out. I was like, babe, we're done. No more. We cannot say one thing in front of this child.
Then you said, what did you say yesterday? Like, we started swearing, and Mike goes, oh, it's bad, and then we hit another shot, and you go, darn it, and he goes, you can't say that. It was so funny. You were like, no, you could say it. It's not bad.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's my boy. He's definitely HVAC. The number of people that we talk to now, like with that, and other people that have boys, and the whole thing, they're like, I don't know if I'm going to send my son to college. And I was like, I don't know what people do in college anymore. I have no clue. I don't even know if they party anymore. And apparently they don't. Some do. Some people have said, oh, kids still party. But then at the same time, like, what are you doing in college? Because even like in college, like, are they really accomplishing anything? Are you learning anything? Because it's so pushed with all the liberal agenda of having this, I don't know. It's just, college is definitely different than what it was years ago.
Well, even if some people are like, kids are going for a degree, but like still their aspiration is fucking
Being an influencer.
influencing YouTube, fucking
Yeah.
streaming,
Yeah.
you know? So
That's-
it's like,
That's what I mean. I'm like, I'm all for, I'm like, bud, if you learn a trade, if you learn some type of skilled trade or multiple skilled trades, I was like, I know a little bit about business. I can help you out in that realm. You could probably build one hell of a business, because I know for a fact that if I stopped doing this, let's say stop doing this, anybody that has any level of skill can start a business right now and never starve, and in 5 years be very well off.
Yep.
Because contractors, there's somebody who won't even build a pavilion that's fucking tens of thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
To get a stonemason in my house took three different guys. That fireplace I have is not cheap, and I'm not downplaying what they're doing, but if you knew how to lay brick and stone, you could have that bitch done in 2.5 weeks.
Mhm.
So you mean to tell me you could have like a $55,000 job done in 2 weeks? Oh, okay. That's real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, like even like a simple handyman service of like odds and ends stuff. Like
Mhm.
all the things, like even like a single parent like that doesn't have time for, and like even getting those type of people to the house is like it doesn't exist. So like if you started a legit handyman service and you know what the fuck you're doing, you can do basic home repairs, fixes, even like just like consulting. Like, what do I do with this fucking bathroom door?
So
It's fucking falling off the hinges. The rollers don't work right.
Again, well, that's Shane saying I'm watching videos, installing doors at houses.
Yeah.
But are you putting up a fucking solid oak door at your house?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
How many doors do you think you have at your house?
Oh my God. I don't know.
14?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, probably.
Probably overall. Say you wanted to do all the trim in your house. You wanted to redo all the trim in your house and all the doors.
Oh my God.
Okay, think about it. That doesn't sound like a whole lot. Like you got to hang 14 doors. Be like, I mean, you could hang doors. However, you can't hang doors, even though it's a simple, quote unquote, simple task, but it's got to be level and it's got to be nice because you have a very nice home.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of trim. So say you want to change all the trim, all the fucking baseboard, and redo all your doors as solid oak doors.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think you could find somebody with that skill to come in and do it and want that job?
I have no idea who I'd contact for that.
Yeah,
no idea.
That's what I mean. You don't even fucking know.
Like our sliding glass back door, like the wheels underneath,
Yeah.
they're fucked.
Yeah, you need a new door.
Yeah, I need a whole new door there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, this door has matching windows on each side of the door. It's never going to match the windows, so should probably do those windows. And then
So now you're looking at this
now you're
job.
looking at an entire job when in reality, because like they can't fix that door. Like you're not getting new parts for that.
That door's probably 15 years
That's
old,
what I mean. That's what
maybe older.
it probably is. It's the original door.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that like just on something like that, hanging doors, you're not hanging 14 fucking doors, but to find that person to do that, that's pretty crazy. So if you have slight carpentry skills and then someone does the work, someone comes with another dude and does that job at your house in X amount of time, whatever it would be, you're going to tell other people about that fella.
Yep.
And now I'm going to be like, no shit. Actually, you think he'd come to my basement and redo all my shit too? Yeah, so cool. He's coming to my house to do all that. And then I'm going to tell as many people as possible, be like, found a guy that does fucking top-notch simple carpentry work, like doors and trim and stuff like that. They're going to be like, yes, I know people that need that work done as well. That's
like,
just one thing.
Yeah, because like my dad, he did all of that after he started his company. And now he tries to avoid that type of work. Like now he's like, I just want to paint. He's like, I'm in my fucking 60s. Like I literally just want to paint and do as low key, labor work as possible. But he was the guy. Like if he went into a housing plan and did one home, he did 30 homes there. He went over here, did another 30 homes over there.
Yeah.
They all have fucking vacation homes and fucking getaway spots. Hey, can you go down to Jersey for 5 days and redo our bathroom there? Yeah, sure. Like word of mouth, my dad never fucking did an ounce of marketing, never an ad in the newspaper.
So that's what I mean.
Just doing good quality work.
There is so much out there. It's crazy, and it's only going to get more and more and more. Because, like, just in our small group of people, how many things do we know that need done?
Everyone's waiting on something to get done or a call back right now. Everyone.
Bro, I got big jobs that cost a lot of fucking money. That's taken me a ridiculous amount of work to find somebody to do it. I'm like, this is crazy. And that means those guys, like the Mason guy, he's like, dude, he's like, I'm so fucking busy. It's out of control. I'm like, you're turning a lot of stuff down. He's like, a lot of stuff. He's like, I made you a priority because you're a friend of a friend. I'm like, well, I appreciate it. And he's like, and I apologize for the delay on the stone. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that I have this block structure that got built. I'm like, I'm just waiting for the stone to go on the fucking wall or on the fireplace. I'm pumped.
Right.
Because he was over the other day. He's like, man, look, this is going to look so cool. He's like, this thing's so big. And we're going through where the mantles go and the TV and all these different things. And he's like, man, it's going to be sick. I was like, you have work for the rest of the year? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm into September. For sure. He's like, and then he's like, I'm waiting on what I actually want to do for the rest of the year. He's like, because I don't work in October. I'm like, no work in October, huh, bud? You good? Fine. He's like, it's hunting season. I was like, so you don't fucking work? And he's like, oh no, I don't work at all in October. I hunt.
Not a day.
And I'm like, really? You don't line anything up? He's like, yeah. He's like, I do small stuff, but he's like, I actually just like hunting. And he's like, I realized that if I don't take this time off, I won't take this time off. So I just don't schedule shit. He's like, there's some things going on. He's like, I got money coming in. He's like, but I don't plan on doing too much in October. It's like, man, you're a fucking, but again, that's the freedom that most people wish and work for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just astonished at the amount of things. Roofs. You could just be a fucking roofer.
Mm-hmm.
You could just roof, do decks. Tons of stuff. Because think about it.
Well, I even bought like things to organize my life, right? Like things to hang in the garage, store stuff, all this shit. It's been sitting in my garage in a corner, making more of a mess. And these are things that are supposed to help my life, and I don't even have fucking half a day. I need half a day on a weekend to fucking put everything up.
Yep.
But then that's when I go to do it. I fuck up the wall.
Yeah.
I don't have this piece of equipment. I don't have this mounting hardware. I don't.
The handyman service is right there for those things. I'm just like, this is crazy.
Key.
And this is that thing that it's becoming such a lost. It's lost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mind blown by society and where it's going. I think it's crazy. That's why I'm like, man, I don't know. Crazy times. I do follow a couple things on the internet. There's this place down in Missouri. It's a welding institute.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called MWI. And all they do is they just teach youngsters how to weld and do metal work. And it's cool. I found them because they did this thing, or I don't know if it was them, but I found them through, it just started popping up on my feed, where they go and the kids will be welding, learning, and then the guy that's running it will tell them what that weld's worth. Like, oh, that's $17 an hour weld. He's like, well, I just started like 6 weeks ago, so I'm actually pretty pumped. And these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he's like, oh, man. And then kids that have been there for a minute do it. And he's like, there you go. That's $32 an hour weld, this and that. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool because it's trendy. It's in there.
Yeah.
But it's also letting those kids know that they can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Good times. Anything else new, Shaner?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
We have a new flavor of Just Work Energy coming out next month.
Oh yeah, that's new.
Yeah. Been in the making for a minute. I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out when you see it.
Yeah.
It's delicious. I think it's the best one yet. I'll say that about the next one too.
I was going to say, we say that every time.
And then I'll say that about the next one too. But I don't know. This one's really fucking good. Yeah. Yeah. Super pumped. It'll be a lot of fun. This weekend was the Pittsburgh. It was mayhem. That was fun. We got a video going out. Other than that, I'm just excited. The weather fucking broke. Blue skies.
Finally
We do
here.
need to go golfing together, though.
We do.
Yeah, just getting the rounds in on 2K until we can get out on the course.
Yep.
I'll pull some more muscles. Smoke way too many cigarettes.
Yep.
Mike won, by the way. We won a championship in there.
Oh,
Get
really?
out of
Yep.
here.
Man.
Fucking-
You want to tell everybody the name of our character?
Sure.
Tommy Schlong.
Tommy Schlong.
I still haven't played as him yet.
He's the fucking man.
He looks like a Tommy Schlong.
We hit what he's
You
6'5".
made him 6'5".
That would-
He towers over the caddy like crazy. It's funny.
Yeah, Mike pulled the first W in there. So.
I wish we need to go. We need to go golfing. It's way too nice out now. Like, I'm cooked. I'm so red from the weekend and yesterday. Fucking pink.
It's
Need to
good.
get out there.
Get the base layer in early. You might be good.
No, it won't.
No.
Oh. I still have those ginger qualities. Fucking weird white guy qualities. Burn. Scab from burning. Allergic to the sun. Be good. But everybody, thank you for listening. And we will make sure that this stay tuned for more. This is going to be going back to a weekly thing on Wednesdays. So everybody, please continue to be a good motherfucker. And don't be too much of a degenerate. A little bit.
Just
Burning
pepper it in.
burning one here and there never hurt nobody.
Nope.
Have a good day.
See you guys.